Laura, despite the fact that you've been thin most of your life, you have struggled with weight and food-related issues. Do you mind to share a bit about that?
Well, I think it all started when I was in high school, when I was dancing on drill team, and there was a lot of pressure on each of the girls to maintain their weight, and you had to weigh in and start your standard weight, and you weren't allowed to gain more than 5 pounds of your standard weigh-in, your initial weigh-in. And I look back and I think how unrealistic that was, and I think of all the times that we would be worried about weighing in on Thursdays or Fridays so that we could dance Saturday at the game. And then we would leave practice and go to the local 7-Eleven and load up with a Slurpee and candy bars and stuff. But I just look back and think how horrible that was to place pressure on girls at such a young age to have to be so thin. And that's the first time I remember being concerned about my weight. I wasn't fat at all, but image-wise, I felt like I was, just because there was that expectation that I couldn't gain more than 5 pounds. So, I did that through my junior year of high school. Then my family moved, and I went to a different place and joined a different drill team, and didn't have the same expectations, and just kind of forgot about it. And weight didn't seem to be an issue then. And then I went to college and started out with the new environment, eating different foods. I had never really experienced fried foods at home, and when I went to college, I experienced that for the first time and gained a freshman 15 eating at the local on-campus cafeteria. So since I had stopped doing the drill team, I needed an outlet to exercise and to do some different things. So I, of course, did aerobics, and then I was asked to do a local preliminary for the Miss America pageant. So I had put on 15 pounds and couldn't get on stage and dance. So my mother, in an effort to help me, said, "Why don't we get you some diet pills? And you can lose some weight doing that." Of course, it sounded good at the time. And I look back now and I think, wow, I cannot believe that I was a freshman in college taking diet pills. And it seemed okay. There didn't seem to be anything wrong with that. And I just think that had a lot to do with when it became an issue, how much I weighed and what I looked like, and was I thin, could I still fit in my clothes, and it was difficult. After I went through the whole diet pill scenario, essentially in college I lost a lot of the weight. It was a roller coaster type thing. I'd stay thin for a while, I'd get heavy. I, of course, did that pageant, and then once the pageant was over, there was no pressure on me anymore to stay thin, so I, of course, regained the weight. And by the time I was a senior in college, I was ready to do something. So my father had also been to Diet Center and had been successful at losing weight, so I started out in college by going to the local Diet Center to see if I could lose weight. And at that time, I lived in the sorority house, and so I could fix my own foods, and it was really... It's somewhat embarrassing in some ways because, all the girls were eating their regular meals, and here I was going and fixing my tofu strawberry shakes and bland chicken and everything. But I got down to 102, which is the least amount of weight I've ever weighed, and thought I looked great. But hindsight, looking back, I look at the pictures and I think I was just so thin, and I thought I was so perfect, but the reality was I was not taking care of myself. I remember not even having, the normal cycle that a girl would have. It totally stopped, and I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. And so it became a big issue